Your lead story at 1 o'clock. Massive protests have broken out in KwaMashu, north of Durban in KZN. Reports say protesters have shut off entrances in the township. Reports suggest that the residents of KwaMashu are protesting over ANC elections candidate list. According to reports, protesters could be those people who were not nominated as councillors by their political party but failed to make it to the national lists.
The police are still monitoring all these protests that are taking place in and around, especially in the northern part of Durban. We have also deployed the public order policing to assist our visible members to assist to monitor the situation. It is alleged that this morning we received a number of roads that were blocked by the protesters, especially at Newlands area, at Green Park, as well as in Nanda and KwaMashu. KwaMashu Highway were also blocked with burning tires as well as stones. We are also appealing to the motorists that they must please use other alternative routes if they want to go in or out of KwaMashu and other affected areas as well. The situation is still tense at this stage, although the police are still in the area monitoring the situation.
Joining us with more is ANC SA Decides reporter Tisetso Matsietsa. A very good afternoon to you, Tisetso. Of course, we do believe that the situation has now increased in terms of volatility. Unpack it for us.
Good afternoon, Shante. Yes, the situation has actually become worse as we speak. The protesters were throwing rocks at us and at the police. Shante, the other thing that's been happening is we managed to speak to two residents and they said to us that one of the reasons that they decided to take to the streets is because the ANC regional office has not come to them to explain the reason why the candidates that they wanted on the list are not there. And the other thing that we have been experiencing is that the cars that have been going past, Shante, have been thrown at, and we also had to, vacate the area because we were being thrown at. Back to you, Shante.
Now, earlier you did mention that there was somewhat of a police contingent. In having a look at how the situation has now progressed and also the claims that you've just made there with regards to protesters throwing stones, how would you describe the security in the area?
Shante, the security is very tight in the area. We've got security from the eThekwini Metropolitan Municipality. We've got the SAPS here with us, and we've got the Metro Police on site. So the security is extremely tight, and we actually have right behind us the police who have been trying to who have been throwing, shooting at the protesters up the hill because of the rocks they were throwing to the street. The roads are still barricaded, Shante, and it's so difficult for the residents to move. And as you know, Queen Nandi is right next to the N2 highway, so it is a very difficult situation at the moment.
So I'm going to ask you to hold it there as I come back to you in just a moment. I'm going to ask you to hold it there. Let's have a look at some scenes from earlier.
The case of our protest is that we nominated 4 candidates. 2 female ones resigned and 2 male candidates went through the interview procedures at the region. What we are waiting for is the result of one of them to be put in position. So instead, the results come back with an unknown face to the community members.
Going back to our reporter on the ground, Tisetso, of course, is taking us through the protests from some of those angry members, possibly that haven't been nominated from their councils. They also have not made it onto the national list. Tisetso, in having a look at how the violence has progressed throughout the course of the morning, the increase of the security and policing contingents, have we heard any sort of response from municipality, locals, or any party members with regards to the violence and what's taking place?
Shante, the municipality has not come to address the locals. The regional office of the ANC has not come to address the locals. This is one of the reasons why this protest is getting out of control at the moment. The locals are saying that they want the municipality to come here and address them. They don't want to be spoken to through their councillor, who is not even here at the moment. They want the municipality to come here themselves and speak to them. And they also want the regional office in KZN to come to them and explain to them the reason why the candidates that they nominated are not on the list. And they have a councillor that is 23 years old who's a Khaled. They don't even know the candidate. So they want the regional office to come here themselves and explain to them. Then only will the protest stop. Back to you, Shante.
Now, in terms of the violence that has ensued from early morning now going into the afternoon, upon your knowledge, are there any injuries at this point in time?
Shante, there are a couple of injured residents, and we have a few members of the SAPS who were injured. But the emergency vehicles are on site as well, and this has been under control. We're not too sure about the numbers, but we do know that some of the residents and some SAPS members were injured this morning.
Now, in terms of any residents,
back to you, Shante.
Now, in terms of any residents in and around the area, can you take us through some of the roads in KwaMashu that are going to be affected with this protest?
Shante, Queen Nandi Drive is the major road that has been barricaded in KwaMashu, and this road stretches onto Inanda. So these two areas are badly affected. This morning there was a backlog of traffic because of the protest that took place. The N2 was barricaded up till Queensburg this morning because of the protest. So this is affecting the traffic in a major way.
Thank you very much for taking us through some of the updates there. Tisetso Matsietsa, our reporter down there in Durban in KwaMashu, taking us through some of those angry protesters